Sean. You're on here talking, oh, other Americans should serve. We should put these young men and women on the front lines. They should die. We already have 13 Americans dead, hundreds injured. You keep advocating from your wealthy home, wherever you live, and say, hey, these people should go serve. People my age should go serve. Gen Z should go serve. But you're sitting here on Piers Morgan talking about other people serving. Go serve again. Go to Iran. Why aren't you signing up right now? Why aren't you in uniform? Why aren't you in uniform?
Harry, you may have a problem with the English language.
Sean, time out. Why aren't you in uniform right now?
Do you know, I know you don't know how this works, but I'm in the reserves.
Sean, answer the question. Why are you in uniform right now?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So glad you decided to pull up a chair for this one. Today we are stepping right into the middle of a Piers Morgan panel that went completely sideways, and it is something to see. On one side you have Sean, defending the decision to strike Iran and insisting it was the right call. On the other side you have Harry, who is having absolutely none of it, firing back about the economic fallout, the cost in American lives, and one very pointed question that puts the whole pro-war crowd on the spot. What starts as a foreign policy debate quickly turns into a raw argument about who actually has the right to send people off to fight. Trust me, you want to stick around for the full thing, because the moment it tips over is the part everyone is going to be talking about, and you do not want to catch it secondhand. And while you are here, do me a quick favor and drop a comment letting me know what part of the world you are watching from. I genuinely love seeing how far this channel reaches. Alright, enough from me, let us get into it.
You're going to focus on America first, getting the average American more money in their pocket, sorting out inflation, sorting out the cost of living. And in one fell swoop, by attacking Iran, he's abandoned the campaign pledge not to get involved in messy Middle Eastern wars, with the biggest, messiest Middle Eastern war imaginable. He's sent energy prices through the roof. He's sent now inflation surging back. Food prices will be next because, they're obviously part of this inflation report, but the fertilizer aspect of the Strait of Hormuz cannot be ignored, where a lot of the world's fertilizer has been held up, and that will have a delayed impact on the food chain. None of this makes any sense to me, Sean. I don't know why he did it.
Let me ask you this, in all seriousness. Do you think that would ever have been a political upside to going to Iran?
No.
Right. Okay. I think I want to just level set that. I agree with you. There was never going to be a political upside going to Iran. Okay, but that's the point, is that when you're president, that you have to do things that are in the best interest of the country. Iran presented America as a threat. They were developing a nuclear weapon. They've
threat to America?
They've killed a service member on averge every 3 days.
You said a threat to America. Did Iran pose a threat to America? Hang on, Sean, hang on. Did Iran pose, before this war began, any direct threat to America?
Absolutely. They killed an average of one service member every 3 days for the last 3 years, either directly or through an Iranian proxy. So if you don't think that that's a threat, I don't know what is. But when you start killing our service members, on average, one every 3 days, that is something to be aware of. Harry is smirking because obviously he's never served this country. But I'm just telling you, that is a direct threat.
Not smirking.
And the president knew that there was not an upside. That's something that we can all agree on. He did it because it was the right thing to do.
I don't think he did. I think he did it. I think he did it because I think he did it, Sean. I think he did it because Benjamin Netanyahu persuaded him that if he did it, they would get regime change. And it would be like Venezuela. It would all be over in 2 to 3 weeks.
At any point, the easy answer is just to cut and run. If he really thought that then or now, even now, the easy answer is just to say, okay, problem solved. We go back, the strait opens, oil starts flowing again. The president's doing what is in the best long-term interest of keeping this country safe. That's it, full stop. Because he can easily
I don't know why Sean hasn't signed up to serve. You should go over there, Sean. Go ahead in Iran and go serve. Go do that. Go serve. Go serve in Iran right now. Right now, Sean. Sean, go serve in Iran. You keep talking about this is a great war. We got to do it. I'd love to see you on the front lines out in Iran. Go be on one of the ships. That's great. You do that. Now, by the way, Sean, we don't have to be here. You know why we're here? Donald Trump put us in that position. He ripped up the JCPOA. Remember that Obama nuclear deal that had independent inspectors going in and looking around? The thing that prevented them from getting a nuclear weapon, Iran started enriching their uranium after 2018, after we ripped up that deal, that whole thing. Yeah, we can go back to that. That'd be great. But Donald Trump put us in this position.
You have to understand something before anyone tries to spin this. The strongest argument in this entire panel is not loud, it is not flashy, it is the boring economic reality that nobody in power wants to talk about. Harry lays it out early when he points out that energy prices got sent through the roof and inflation is surging right back up. And this is the part most people scroll past because it is not exciting, but it is the whole game. When you start a war in the most sensitive oil region on the entire planet, you are not just making some distant foreign policy decision. You are reaching into the pocket of every single person watching this video and quietly taking money out of it. Gas, groceries, fertilizer, the food chain, every bit of it gets dragged into the fight whether you wanted it to or not. And here is what makes it so much worse. Sean basically hands the argument away with his own mouth. He admits, in his own words, that the president knew there was not an upside. Sit with that for 1 second. You walked into a war that even your own defenders concede had no political benefit, no clear victory, no off-ramp. So why do it? What was the point? Then Harry drops the line that actually matters most. He reminds everyone that this conflict did not just fall out of the clear blue sky. He points out that the previous nuclear deal, the one where inspectors were physically walking through the facilities and verifying everything in person, got ripped up back in 2018. And the moment that deal got torn apart, the enrichment started right back up. That is not a talking point. That is a documented sequence of events you can check yourself. You break the lock off the door, and then you act shocked when the door swings open.
Yeah. Hey, Harry,
Damn right.
do you have access to the internet?
I do, Sean.
Why don't you read my bio? Take a time out for a second before you say stupid things like that. Okay?
I'm saying go back. I'm saying go back.
Go read my bio before you make a stupid comment
Sean,
like that.
Go
Get
back.
your head out of your ass.
Go back and serve. Go back and serve, Sean. You're on here talking, oh, other Americans should serve. We should put these young men and women on the front lines. They should die. We already have 13 Americans dead, hundreds
Harry,
injured. You keep advocating from your wealthy home, wherever you live, and say, hey, these people should go serve. People my age should go serve. Gen Z should go serve. But you're sitting here on Piers Morgan talking about other people serving. Go serve again. Go to Iran. Why aren't you signing up right now? Why aren't you in uniform?
You should also know-
Why aren't you in uniform?
Harry, you may have a problem with the English language.
Sean, time out. Why aren't you in uniform right now?
Do you know? I know you don't know how this works, but I'm in the reserves.
Sean, answer the question. Why are you in uniform right now?
Hey.
Okay,
God,
then
you are
great. Go
such an
suggest
arrogant
yourself to
little
go
shit.
serve. Sean,
Understand
go
how this
suggest
works?
to serve.
I
Sean,
am
go
in the
suggest to
military,
serve.
you
can go up.
dumbass.
Great. Call him up
Okay.
and say, I want to go to Iran.
I just want to note that going to war against Iran actually makes us less safe.
About how this
Sean,
works.
cry more.
I'm
You're
not
one of
crying.
these wealthy
I think
Republicans
it's
who sits
sad.
in your wealthy home and you tell other people to go serve while you're sitting there making a bunch of money, advocating for Donald Trump, shilling for whatever you're shilling these days. Go serve. It's disgusting. It pisses me off that people like you, these wealthy Republicans, tell
really
people my age to go serve.
Language. I don't know which. Maybe
Sean,
it's both.
I don't know why you're not answering the question. Just go suggest for yourself to go serve in Iran. You can do that. Okay, great, go.
Hey, Harry,
Sean, go.
Harry, shut up. The way it
don't
works
think
is
he
you
ever
don't
said
tell
anyone
the
in your
military
age
how to
either.
Keep crying, Sean.
Oh.
Why don't you? Are you advocating for your other Republican commentators to go as well, or are you just what's the word there? Are you just telling other Americans, the sons and
I would love
daughters
to see
of
more people
Americans?
serve.
And this is where the whole thing stops being about dry policy and turns into something far more honest. Watch how fast the entire conversation shifts the second Harry stops being polite. Because the comfortable, well-paid commentator class absolutely loves a good war, right up until the exact moment you ask them to stand anywhere near it. Harry says it as plainly as a person can say it. 13 Americans dead, hundreds more injured. And then he turns to the man cheering all of this on and asks the only question that ever truly matters in moments like these. He says you are sitting right here talking about other people serving, so why are you not in uniform yourself? And you can feel the entire room change in an instant. Here is the part that genuinely blows my mind. Sean fires back that he is in the military. All right, fine. Take him completely at his word on that. But notice carefully that he never actually answers the real question, which was never only about him personally. It was about the entire chorus of comfortable voices who demand that young people, other people, somebody else's sons and daughters, go and bleed for a cause that they themselves will never risk a single thing for. Harry absolutely nails it when he describes the wealthy figure who sits safe at home, makes a giant pile of money, and tells everyone else's children to go march off to a war zone. And here is what people do not realize. That is the oldest pattern in all of human history. The people who beat the war drum the loudest are almost never the ones who actually march. Go back and read about the men who sent millions into the trenches of the First World War from warm, comfortable offices far behind the front line. The faces change every century. The script never does.
The country. Luckily, more and more people are signing up under Donald Trump.
Should all the Republican commentators who are advocating for this war do that as well?
I think there's plenty of opportunity for people to serve the country. I've been in for 27 years.
Should they go serve?
So
should they go serve, Sean?
I'd love to see you come on in.
Should they go? I'm not advocating for a foreign war right now. I'm not advocating for a foreign war right now, Sean. Should these Republican commentators who advocate for this war, should they go serve? Should they go? Oh, but it's a contradiction, Sean. Should these Republican
commentators? To be honest with you, Harry, hang on. Harry, I'm not entirely convinced that sending Mark Levin, for example, to fight the Iranians is going to help anybody. So I do think it's a bit of a facile argument, to be honest with you. You know,
there are Gen Z Republican commentators, Piers, who are on social media all day, and I see them all day.
Yeah.
They advocate for this war. They want other people to go serve while they're making a bunch of money. And I'm just curious why they aren't signing up. Why aren't they? Why don't they voluntarily go?
I think the IDF should fight this war. This is Israel's war. The IDF should fight this war.
Well,
they
you know
want
what?
the nuclear dust. They should go in and get it.
It may well be that sooner rather than later, it is the IDF that's only the one fighting this war, because I think Trump is going to. I actually do think if he's sensible, he will cut and run and get out of this, because it's clearly turning into a total disaster for him. And I don't think there's going to be any semblance of a real victory. I don't think you're going to see the Iranians give up their enriched uranium. I don't think you're going to see them give up control of the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think the IRGC are going to give up their tight grip on the country. And I think the Ayatollah's son will turn out to be nastier and more radical than his father, because half his family got killed at the start of the war. Why wouldn't he be? So I think the whole thing was an ill-fated escapade, which has just turned into an absolute quagmire of the worst kind that Donald Trump always said he didn't want to get involved with. That's just my view. Maybe we'll wake up next week and there's a big cozy deal and he'll have proven me wrong. I don't think so.
And now we reach the exact moment that exposes everything. Because when Harry presses him, asking whether all the loud pro-war commentators should also go serve, watch very closely what happens next. Sean suddenly says that he is not advocating for a foreign war right now. Excuse me? Hold on. You spent this entire segment defending the strike, calling it the right thing to do, lecturing everybody about threats and service members, and the very second the heat lands on your own side of the table, you back away from the exact war you were just selling to us. That is the contradiction. That is the entire performance collapsing in real time, right in front of you. And here's the part I find genuinely fascinating, because it cuts straight through all the noise. Harry makes a point that even a lot of people who normally disagree with him end up quietly nodding along to. He says this is Israel's war, and if it truly must be fought, then their own forces should be the ones fighting it. You do not have to agree with every single word to feel the raw logic sitting underneath it. Why are American lives and American paychecks being spent on a fight that was sold to a leader as a quick, clean, 2 or 3 week regime change that was never, ever going to be quick or clean? And then comes the line that I honestly think ages better every single day that passes. The host calls the whole thing an ill-fated escapade that turned into an absolute quagmire of the worst possible kind. The exact type of messy, endless war that the public was promised would never happen. Read that one more time. The promise was no more endless Middle East wars. The actual result was the single messiest one imaginable. That enormous gap between what was promised and what was actually delivered is the whole entire story right there. So when people ask why any of this matters, this is precisely why. It was never really about being tough or being strong. It was about who pays the price, who quietly pockets the profit, and who walks calmly away when the bill finally comes due. So what do you guys think of this? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.